Medical researchers are alarmed by a steep increase in the number of Victorian cyclists suffering serious injuries. A survey has found the number of cycling deaths and injuries doubled over a 9-year period to 2015, and nearly a quarter of those accidents happened in dedicated bike lanes. James Oden reports.
Michael Forbes' accident happened 9 years ago.
It's 5 minutes from home and a truck passed me on the right-hand side, a little too close, and clipped my right arm. I lost control of my bike and ran into the back of a parked four-wheel drive.
Michael broke his neck and has since been a quadriplegic.
Well, I wouldn't wish quadriplegia on your worst enemy.
New research published in the Medical Journal of Australia shows cases like Michael's are becoming increasingly common. The study looks at data relating to injuries and deaths over a 9-year period and found the number of major trauma incidents for cyclists has increased 8% each year.
This is certainly a concerning finding. We simply cannot accept that we have these numbers of fatalities and serious injuries on our roads.
Horror cycling stories are common along bike tracks in Melbourne's inner south.
I was in intensive care for 12 days and then for 3 months in rehabilitation, etc.
And a car sailed through a red light at the T intersection and cleaned me up, lifted me up on the bonnet, threw me on the road.
While the inner city streets are commonplace for cyclists during rush hour, researchers note that cycling activity across the country has actually been on the decline. It's for these reasons the escalating number of injuries is of even greater concern.
What we need to do and what government needs to do is start to promote cyclists as legitimate road users.
It only takes one person who's not doing the right thing to potentially cause an accident, and that can be a motorist or it can be a cyclist.
A warning for cyclists and motorists to heed. James Oden, ABC News.
The number of cyclists suffering serious injuries in road collisions has doubled in recent years. An increase in riders being hospitalised has prompted fresh calls for the government to better invest in infrastructure to make the roads safe.
It's an all too common sight, cyclists being injured and even killed on our roads.
It's really worrying actually that there's that many people having accidents.
New research out of Monash University found the number of riders needing hospitalisations doubled over the past 9 years, with more than 8,000 taken to hospital and more than 2,500 killed on Victorian roads.
So now we're getting some publicity on it, which is a good thing, and hopefully that makes more people aware that cyclists are on the road and they're vulnerable.
David Tannard's been in the bike business for 9 years. He's lost count of the number of horror stories he's heard from customers.
You hear some harrowing stories where we've had people who have had their bicycles written off, they've ended up in hospital.
Although less car, motorbike and pedestrian accidents are ending in death, the same can't be said for cyclists, with the number of accidents involving a bike increasing by 8% year on year.
I think we need more infrastructure. We need to have segregated cycleways where cyclists can be away from cars.
There is a substantial commitment. It will take time to have an impact, which is obviously what's being highlighted at the moment, that the infrastructure we're rolling out currently will take 3 or 4 years to actually start having an impact.
Amber Johnston, Win News.